Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18
So 16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
we're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
Don't listen to this.
can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If
do
you're
it.
18 and up.
Don't do it.
If you're 18 and
Yeah.
up.
All right, hey everybody. This is Eric, Sean, Jorge. We're back. This is all about Lee Harvey Oswald.
The man, the myth, the asshole.
Yeah, and so in our last episodes, we were all talking about, it was all the Warren Commission. It was the entire report, everything they went, like the official story of the JFK situation.
Supposedly.
And now we pretty much established it's Lee Harvey Oswald. Right?
Well,
according to the
according
Warren
to them.
Commission.
Yeah, according to the government.
So we can't go we can't go on without diving into Lee Harvey Oswald.
Well, obviously, he's like besides JFK, he's the protagonist / antagonist of this entire thing.
Yeah, that's right. So
according to the government.
Yeah, exactly. According to the government.
Okay, so Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald was born at the Old French Hospital in New Orleans on October 18th, 1939. His father died of a heart attack 2 months before Lee was born.
Is that why they call him Lee Harvey Oswald instead of just fucking Lee Oswald? Like, Jesus, leave the middle name out.
That's true.
I hate middle names. I hate my middle name.
What's your middle name?
What is your middle name?
Luis.
Luis.
Jorge Luis.
Do you have 2 middle names or just one?
Sean, what's your
No, you
middle
got
name?
2 middle names and you got 2 last names.
So what? Give me your full.
I'm sorry,
you have 4 names?
No. I got 2 names.
Yeah.
First and middle, and then you get 2 last names. In Mexico, you take the mom and the dad's last name.
Oh, how progressive.
Wow. All right. I was named after a 80s comedy.
I was named after a novella guy.
Ooh,
Novella?
telenovela.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He was
All
very
right.
hot.
All right. So his father died of a heart attack 2 months before he was born. So Lee Harvey never had a dad.
Sad.
Right? Lee's older brother, Robert Jr., was also a former Marine in 1944. So that was 1939. That's when he was born.
You said also. So his dad was a Marine, or you're talking about
No,
Lee
also is Lee was a Marine.
Lee's former.
Right.
Lee's a
Just
Marine.
clarifying.
Yeah. In 1944, Lee's mother, Marguerite, she moved the family from New Orleans to Dallas. Oswald entered the first grade in 1945, and over the next half dozen years attended several different schools in Dallas through the 6th grade. Oswald took an IQ test in the 4th grade and scored 103.
In the 4th grade.
4th grade. But that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Dude, I scored
That's not bad.
I scored 167 when I was in the fucking 4th grade. I know, it's true. I was meant
Scored
to,
like 103 like
Jesus.
last
I was
week.
meant to
Nah.
qualify.
Yeah,
I was meant to,
jeez,
I was
man.
meant to qualify.
167?
Yeah.
In the 4th?
Yeah.
No.
That was
Ask my
like
mom,
some
dude.
like,
No.
offbeat fucking
No,
like,
ask-
That's
IQ test.
insane.
Straight up, ask my mom. It's her fucking claim to fame. She literally, she tells every motherfucker this shit. I think she's got it saved. Because she
You are
was
pretty
like,
smart,
there's
dude.
no way he's this smart.
It's believable.
Pretty smart. I've never scored a 167 even as an adult.
No, same.
Well, trust me, the Michelob Ultras have shaved that number way down.
Did you just do the left side circles?
I was like ABC, ABC, ABC.
Smart, man. You deserve it.
I hacked the system.
Yeah. So as a child, Oswald was described as withdrawn and temperamental by several people who knew him. When he was 12 in 52, his mother took him to New York, where they lived a short time with the half-brother John. Oswald and his mother were later asked to leave after an argument in which Oswald allegedly struck his mother and threatened John's wife
Damn.
with a pocket knife.
And he was 12? That's pretty
Yeah, he was
savage.
12.
It's gangster.
I
So
know.
then Oswald attended 7th grade in the Bronx, but
Perfect.
and this is just per this information, but was tardy, difficult, was submitted to a psychiatric assessment at juvenile reformatory. The psychiatrist, which was Dr. Hartogs, described Oswald as immersed in a vivid fantasy life, turning around the topics of power and things like that. So through which Oswald tried to compensate for his present shortcomings and frustrations. And that's from Dr. Hartog.
Yeah, because every psychiatrist is
Yeah.
fucking German.
Super, it doesn't really tell us anything, like that statement by the psychiatrist.
It seems like it was his own like personal
Yeah.
outside of professional opinion. He's like, I just hate this asshole.
Like listen to the sentence. Tries to compensate for his present shortcomings and frustrations.
Well, they drive like a big Dodge Ram
How
or
does
something
that-
like lifted.
I don't know how that helps. Yeah,
What do
I
you
think
got
we
against big trucks?
I think we all
Hey,
try
we
to
both have.
compensate for our present shortcomings.
Dude, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
How do you think I got through life so far?
So when Lee returned to school in 53, his disciplinary problems continued. When Oswald failed to cooperate with school authorities, they sought a court order to remove him from his mom's care so he could be placed in a home for boys that could complete his education.
Damn, it's like almost like a weird offshoot of Goodfellas.
Yeah,
He's
he was
like,
put in
I'm not
homes
going to school.
and,
I'm
yeah.
working for the mob.
This was postponed partially because his behavior improved. So before New York family court system could address their case, the Oswalds left New York in 54 and returned to New Orleans. So Oswald then completed 8th and 9th grade in New Orleans. He entered the 10th grade in 1955, but quit after 1 month.
Damn.
After leaving school, Oswald worked for several months as an office clerk and messenger in New Orleans.
Oh, that's before child labor laws existed.
Crazy. So he didn't finish.
He's what, like 16?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, he's 16. That's a good point.
Yeah, but he never finished high school, is the point.
not like us, boys.
Hey-o.
Speak for yourself.
Check the credentials at the biography.
The credits didn't get transferred over.
So in 56, Oswald's mom moved the family to Fort Worth. Oswald re-enrolled in 10th grade for September in Arlington Heights High School in Fort Worth. A few weeks later in October, Oswald quit school at the age of 17 to join the Marines.
I mean, this guy, this is a lot of flippy floppy.
Yeah.
Texas, New Orleans, Texas again.
All over the place.
Like-
So Lee Harvey never got a diploma.
But he got a rifle.
By
By the Marines.
Wait, do you need that to get into the
The
military?
Marines? No.
Oh, fuck no.
think
They don't
absolutely
give a
not.
shit.
I thought you needed that or GED or
Fuck,
something.
hell no.
You might need it to advance further as like a career.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
true.
You know,
It's true.
like, you know.
Yeah, but like to serve, they're
Yeah.
like, fuck it.
But just,
I'll take
just-
anybody.
yeah.
Well, come on.
But just to summarize, so Oswald resided at 22 different homes.
That's a lot.
22.
Damn.
And attended 12 different schools. That
I
was
see-
by the time he was 15.
I see Eric is trying to set the table here.
I'm just saying, like that.
He's
like,
disturbed.
trouble
Yeah,
balls.
Disturbed
like,
youth.
So by the age of 15, he considered himself actually a socialist. So in his diary, and there is a there is a diary. He says, and I quote, "I was looking for a key to my environment, and then I discovered socialist literature. I had to dig for my books in the back dusty shelves of libraries."
Book depositories.
End quote. Oh, gosh. At 16, he wrote to the Socialist Party in America for information on their Young People's Socialist League, saying he had been studying socialist principles for well over 15 months.
I love how the fuck was that the key? Like that. Okay, continue, please. Just ridiculous.
So Edward Vobel, whom the Warren Commission had established was Oswald's closest friend in his teenage years, reports that Oswald was already studying communism was a lot of baloney. Vobel said that Oswald commonly read paperback trash.
Whatever that,
Yeah,
like
what the hell
pornos?
is that?
Like, was he reading like Playboys?
I don't know. So as a teenager in 55, Oswald became a cadet member of the Civil Air Patrol in New Orleans. Fellow cadets variously recalled him attending meetings 3 or 4 times. Oswald enlisted in the Marine Corps on October 24th, 56, just a week after his 17th birthday. Because of his age, his brother Robert Jr. was required to sign as a legal guardian. Oswald also named his mom and his half-brother John as beneficiaries.
So beneficiaries to what? He's 17 years old and he fucking
literally
owns nothing.
Yeah, no money. Yeah. Oswald idolized his older brother, Robert Jr., and wore his Marine Corps ring. And his half-brother testified to the Warren Commission that Oswald's enlistment was motivated by wanting to get from out and under the yoke of oppression from my mother. So his brother testified to the Warren Commission saying that's why he joined the Marines.
He's like,
To get out of the oppression from his mother.
That's right.
Like
she keeps
every other
making the same
teenager.
shitty food. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
She won't
So-
let me go to the movies.
She's my girlfriend. Let me bring her home.
Mom! So Oswald's enlistment papers said that he was 5'8" and he weighed 135 pounds.
So this guy's like a fucking this old
He's a
limp
twig.
limp
He's a
wet
twig,
rag.
yeah.
Like,
Hazel eyes, brown hairs, blah, blah, blah. His primary training was in radar operation.
sounds good for a 5'8", 130-pound man.
Now, this is very important. So his primary training was in radar operation, and it required security clearance. What security clearance is the big question?
That's true.
That's classified.
Yeah, only the Warren Commission knows.
So in 57, a document stated that he was granted final clearance to handle classified matter up to and including confidential after careful check of local records had disclosed no derogatory data.
Yeah, because you could probably know where like planes are, where bases are, and shit.
At Kessler Base in Mississippi, Oswald finished 7th in his class of 30 in aircraft control and warning operation courses.
Not bad.
Okay. Obviously, it did not require any physical
Or high school diploma.
I mean, he's 135 pounds.
I mean, it's like your son.
It's my right arm.
Seriously.
It included instruction in aircraft surveillance and the use of radar. He was given the military occupational specialty of aviation's electronics operator. On July 9th, he reported to the Marine Corps at El Toro in California. Oswald departed then for Japan the following month, where he was assigned to Marine Air Control Squadron 1 at Atsugi near Tokyo.
Cool. Well, what a dope place. I would love to go there.
Oh, yeah.
So, like all Marines, Oswald was trained and tested in shooting.
Yeah, but not all Marines are good fucking shooters, bro.
Okay,
Not
so
all snipers. They're not
in-
all
I
sharp.
know,
sharp
hear me
Seriously,
out.
they're all Chris Kyle.
Hear me out.
Fucking, like I said, American Sniper. Like, fucking Jesus. Like, the guy was fucking 130 pounds. I'm surprised he could even hold a rifle.
So in December of 56, he scored a 212,
which means nothing to me.
which
IQ?
was slightly
What are you
above.
talking about?
No, this like I guess
It's a shooting
Okay.
score. Yeah, it's a shooting score, which was slightly above the requirements that were designated for you to be determined as a sharpshooter.
Seriously?
this is in the 50s, bro. They didn't know shit.
Yeah.
So Oswald was, per the Marines,
A sharpshooter.
a sharpshooter.
Okay, but that's like saying like I I scored on my driving test slightly above that to be a Formula One driver.
I know, but if we were to look at it from this perspective, what would I score right now? A 0.
Yes.
What would you score right now?
like a 15.
A 50. Yeah. What would you score right
Maybe
now?
100.
Okay, good. So
Oswald
Oswald scored a 212, and he's now designated by the Marines as a sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm. Shooting
Tracking?
non-moving targets.
Yeah. So 3 years later, just as another thing, 3 years later he scored a 191.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a 191, he was reduced from the certification of sharpshooter to marksman.
Yeah, because everybody gets lucky sometimes.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty
Considering,
good.
right?
Yeah, pretty good.
I would like to know what that means in the Marines' eyes. Like, what does that mean you can do?
True.
Like being a marksman and being a sharpshooter, what does that mean that you're capable of in their eyes?
Well, if you're a sharpshooter, I mean, you at least got some very good aim. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you're not a sniper, but
Yeah, I'm
you're
sure.
above average for sure.
for sure.
And at least according to the Marines, well, we got to take it, take the truth from
Because obviously,
what they have
in
on
order to be a
record.
sniper, you're actually doing like physics calculations.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking calculating like wind,
But
air resistance, like all that shit.
but we're
One
gonna do a
degree
little
to the left and
we're gonna do a little
Exactly.
pause here. We're gonna do a little pause here because Jorge went to Dallas
yeah,
like
what,
a week
2 week-
ago.
a week or two
2
ago?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he did go to the depository.
Yes.
I
had to find out what the fucking book
yes.
depository is.
He went, he did
Still
the
don't know.
tour.
Still don't know.
There's a picture of him on the X. He ran out into the street and took a little candid shot. I went there.
I still have not been there.
So Sean's the only one who has no real life experience here.
So all my opinions
But
literally
my question here is, so you were standing there.
Yeah, they have.
And you have the window.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
They have the window blocked off, so
Yeah.
you can't get obviously right to the window, but you can definitely see it maybe 10 feet away,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And they still have the boxes set up supposedly how it was back then.
And did you go to the other floor where you were able to see the view of the shot?
Well, you could see it from that floor.
Yeah.
It's just that you're maybe 2 windows to the right of it
right.
because he was in the corner window. But so you can still see kind of the view that he had, and I mean, looking down, that tree is still there. That one tree,
The oak or the
that one
elm
oak
or
tree,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely in the way, man.
Really?
It's like fucking right there.
Was it pruned?
It was a
In my
baby tree.
expert tree opinion. Are you asking me? Because are you expecting me to be a landscaping arborist? Because I'm
arborist?
Mexican.
All right, you're Mexican, so what would you say?
Was
no.
it pruned?
Here we go. No, but do you think the shot was hard?
It was definitely hard.
Really?
Definitely hard.
I
Especially
had a different experience.
Yeah,
One
because
shot.
you had
One
preconceived
shot.
notions when you went.
One shot I can see.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the exact view because, like I said, I was off to the right.
Yeah.
But multiple shots from there, and then we get into it of under 6 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're gonna dive
remove
deeper
the
into
tree.
that.
Let's say the tree
using
was
the
not
world's
there.
The tree was not there.
Let's say the tree was not there. Was the distance?
and remove the time factor.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect angle.
And it's not that
this
far.
distance was not far.
It's not
hard.
far.
No.
It's not really.
And especially you got that vantage point from from the sixth
right
floor.
above. Yeah. Okay.
So
We'll get into this later. I have a lot to say,
Yeah.
but I'm
No,
gonna
I was just
I'm gonna
curious.
hold my
Now,
tongue.
I was curious.
They also
Yeah.
have the rifle there, man.
Yeah,
And-
the
and-
Carcano.
Yeah,
Carcano.
I forgot the name,
yeah.
but that one, and it's definitely not an easy. It's a bolt action, I think we went
Yeah.
over this in the beginning, and it doesn't look like something you can easily shoot multiple shots in 6 seconds, like they say.
Especially while keeping maintaining hyper accuracy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, he is a
Marksman,
yeah,
a downgraded sharpshooter.
sharpshooter, previous marksman. Yeah.
A former sharpshooter.
All right. Good stuff. I was trying to understand what you thought when you were there in person. You know what I mean? Was it easy? I don't know, because before I went there, I was it was super far. Only a sniper could do it.
Right.
And then I
It's
got
not.
there and I was like, it's not that far.
Yeah.
It's not that far of a shot.
Yeah, I just gotta just for my personal opinion, because I've shot many rifles, and I've shot good rifles and I've shot bad rifles. There's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
Even to shooting at 50 yards, which is not terribly far. like if your sights are off, like you're fucking way off. Like your shit's not dialed in. Well, it's right in the crosshairs, but I'm hitting like the fucking sand.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
So there's a lot.
And then you add the moving element to it.
Yeah,
which
the
makes it
moving
even
element,
that
which
much
is
harder.
infinitely more hard.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then you got the obstruction of the tree. So, yeah.
So just saying.
But
A lot of factors here.
to answer your question, like, does it look? It definitely looks like it doable. Let's say
It
not
can
easy, not
be done.
easy, but like doable.
Doable.
Yeah, it's not like how we kind of thought where it was like
super far
away.
away.
Hitting up, like threading the needle.
You need one of those rifles in like Mark Wahlberg shooter movie.
Yeah,
Like, no,
exactly.
you don't need
It's
that.
like 50 cal, like fucking bullets are heated up and shit.
All right on. Okay. Well, so after 1959, this is a funny story. Is Oswald was court-martialed because he accidentally shot himself in the elbow with a .22.
Fucking sharpshooter.
Literally, like, I don't know how you accidentally shoot yourself with a .22.
Damn it.
It reminds me of like what's that guy in the Eminem movie? Like shoots himself in the thigh or whatever.
Oh yeah, shoots himself in the
What movie?
It's in the 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Mile?
He literally
Really?
shoots
I
himself
gotta
in the
rewatch
he's
that.
like putting the gun and shoots himself in the leg.
So like, describe a
Bob.
22.
Cheddar Bob.
Describe a 22. It's a handgun.
Well, it could be handgun
usually.
or rifle, but the bullet's very small.
This is a handgun, so it's a
Yeah, it's a 22. It's very low recoil, and the thing is
almost like a BB gun.
yeah,
Really?
like a BB
I
gun
mean-
that,
So it's
that
like the
can kill
smallest.
you.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
smallest
tiny.
kind
It's
of
tiny.
It's a-
weapon.
it's
Like,
a-
dude,
it's
you
the
shoot
smallest-
that and
it's the
it's like
smallest caliber.
No
There's-
recoil. It's just kind of
Really?
Like
I
you
see.
train your kids to shoot with the
Yes.
fucking 22.
I got it. Okay.
But my thing is, why was he got court-martialed for shooting himself on accident?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, actually. But there's not a lot of information about that afterwards. But then he was court-martialed again.
How can you be court-martialed
Damn.
twice?
So yeah, he was court-martialed again for fighting with a sergeant who he thought was responsible for the punishment of the shooting. So he got court-martialed for shooting himself in the elbow, and then the sergeant who punished him in the court-martial, he got into a fight with him. So then he got court-martialed again for the fight with the sergeant.
So it's like not
Makes sense?
only
Yeah.
dishonorably discharged, but like super dishonorably.
So he was then he was demoted. He was demoted to from private first class to private, and then he was imprisoned for a little bit,
I was like,
a
what-
tiny bit.
What's
Yeah.
under private? Just like
Yeah.
loser.
Okay, so then he was punished for another incident. So he was on a nighttime duty in the Philippines, and he
Little lady boys.
all it says is he inexplicably fired his rifle into the jungle.
So after like a few drinks, it's like
Yeah, honestly, that sounds exactly like that sounds exactly right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He's like, bitch, I can hit that tree over there. Which one? You'll find out.
He had like 6 or 7 Philippine or
hold my beer. Like, watch this.
I'm not. That sounds racist.
No, like
He had like 6 or 7 like Filipino beers, and then just started firing
some
into the
like Tsing
woods.
Taos,
Yeah.
and he was like,
Yeah. So there you go.
so this guy's a fucking loose
so all
cannon.
sorts of things. So he was nicknamed the Aussie Rabbit because he was super tiny and he looked like a cartoon character, and he loved Russia or Soviets, so he was also called Osvaldikovich. You know, that was another nickname. In 1958, he was transferred back to El Toro in California. But there, an officer is on record saying that he was very competent and brighter than most. So he did better. He did better there.
Sterling 103 IQ.
Yeah. So in 1959, when he was in the Marines, he taught himself basic Russian.
That's hard to do. Russian's difficult as fuck.
Yeah.
So in 1959, in February, he was invited to take a Marine proficiency exam in written and spoken Russian. His level at the time after the test was poor, but poor is better than
zero.
Was like not efficient or like not
I'm sure
able. Yeah.
To some degree.
Though he fared rather reasonably for a Marine private at the time in the reading and the writing. So in September of 1959, he received a hardship discharge from active service, claiming that his mother needed care.
The mother that he hated, clearly.
Yes.
That he had to get away from.
So at that point, he was placed on the United States Marine Corps Reserve. So he was now in the reserves. Yeah. So in October of 1959, he traveled to the Soviet Union.
Here's where things get sticky with his poor aptitude for Russian.
So Oswald traveled to the Soviet Union just before he turned 20 in the later part of 1959. He saved $1,500 from his salary in the Marine Corps, and he spent 2 days with his mom in Fort Worth. Then they embarked by ship on September 20th from New Orleans to France.
On the Titanic.
Shit? Jesus. How long was that?
Probably a long time.
Like a month.
Oh, yeah. Probably
So
it sucked.
and then he immediately traveled to the UK, and then he arrived in Southampton on October 9th.
Do we know why he went? Does it say there why he went to the Soviet Union?
Because he was upset. He loved them.
That nobody knows.
Okay.
That's part of the problem. It's like
You
he
mean part
was
of the conspiracy?
part of the, yeah. Like we don't like why? Yeah, you're right. Like why the fuck did he go there?
Yeah.
Like
Well, he clearly liked socialism. And, what's the world hub of that?
yeah.
Fucking USSR.
But socialism is not communism.
It's extraordinarily similar, bro. It's like
no.
oh, dude, are you kidding me? It's very similar principles.
You have, and
I'm with
correct me if
Sean.
I'm wrong.
I'm with Sean on this.
You have democracy, you have socialism, and then you have communism.
communism
It's right in the middle.
Communism is radical socialism. That's really what it is.
Radical.
It's
Yeah.
radical
exactly.
socialism, but the state owns everything. So instead of
in
like
socialism or communism?
in communism. So
communism, yeah.
socialism is like, okay, everyone is equal and even,
Yeah.
and everyone gets everything the same.
Yeah.
So radical socialism, which is communism, is where the state owns everything and you are just a subset of the state, and the state will allocate everything to you. The same principle of like you're all quote unquote equal, but the state's like God. And so like if you're in
So you
like
don't really have rights, too.
Oh, dude,
right? It's
they
like
fucking
they say-
disappear. Look at
Yeah,
China, bro.
exactly.
China's fucking a classic example. The state will literally absorb your company, and
Yeah.
then you got patents. Sorry, it's our company now.
Cuba is another one.
Like, what do you want to do? And if you
Or-
talk shit like Jack Ma did, you fucking disappear for a month. He's like one of the top 20 richest people in the world. He like vanished for a
That's
month,
true.
and he came back. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say anything.
Yeah. Jack Ma is the Alibaba.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Alibaba.
Yeah,
It's worth like
Alibaba.
fucking $50 billion.
Probably more.
Dude, he's worth so much money.
Okay, so he arrived in Southampton October 9th, right, of 59. And he told officials at that time that he had $700 and he planned to stay for 1 week before proceeding to a school that was in Switzerland. On that same day, he flew to Helsinki, where he checked in at the Hotel Torni in room 309. We all know this. 309.
That's common knowledge.
And then he moved to Hotel Klaas Kirky. And he was actually issued a Soviet visa on October 14th.
All right.
Okay. So Oswald left Helsinki by train the next day. He crossed the border at a town that I can't pronounce. Vinicula. He crossed the Soviet border at Vinicula and arrived in Moscow on October 16th. His visa, valid only for a week, was due to expire on the 21st.
I just got to say something really quick. What a fucking piece of shit that he gets discharged because his mother's not doing well. He only still left for 2 days. He's like, all right, I'm going on a vacay.
Peace.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so almost immediately after arriving, Oswald informed his tourist guide, which
Quote unquote.
which is an interesting thing that I had to study on the side,
Yeah, like-
which is what is a tourist guide?
I have no
Like,
idea.
like they don't have that now.
No. That's what
A
your phone.
tourist
That's what your
guide.
phone is for.
What do you mean? Like
So back
that's
then, you would hire
not
somebody.
uncommon. Or what?
Really? I have. For the
A
fuck?
tourist guide? Like you can everybody like I don't know. It just seems common to me. Like you would hire somebody
you
to
hire
take you
somebody
around
in
the
a foreign
city.
language.
Go
Jorge,
show me all the.
When name one time you have had
No,
a tourist guide.
Never.
That's
But
fucking
I'm
common as fuck.
And you're hella rich.
Especially, yeah.
Compared to
But especially back then, you don't have iPhone, you don't have Google
Yeah,
Maps.
it's
you
true.
don't
This
have
is in the
Google.
this is in the
Nothing.
50s. Yeah,
You don't even have maps.
that's yeah.
You don't,
You don't have
maps.
Thomas Guide.
Mm.
That dates me.
Nice
by the
drop.
way.
Nice
Yeah.
nice drop there.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Thomas Scott.
Dude. Oh my God. We should bring back Thomas Guide.
Dude, on the come up.
Yeah. To the corporate entities that own Thomas Guide, please contact us at info@The Conspiracy Podcast. We would love to sponsor the Thomas Guide.
Thomas Guide.
We feel like it's coming
The
back.
digital version.
Yeah. Oswald informed his tourist guide of his desire to become a Soviet citizen.
Meanwhile, he's still in the reserves. Fucking
Yes.
cock.
So when asked why by Soviet officials he encountered, all of whom by Oswald's account found his wish incomprehensible, he said that he was a communist and gave what he described in his diary as vague answers about the great Soviet Union. On October 21st, the day his visa was due to expire, he was told that his citizenship application had been refused. He had to leave Soviet Union that evening. He was distraught, so Oswald inflicted a minor but bloody wound to his left wrist in his bathtub. And this was right before the in-tourist guide was due to escort him out of the country.
I love how he's like, literally like in his diary, he's like, I gave them vague answers, idiots. Like, why would you, what? Like, what's the point of writing that down?
So basically, he was refused citizenship. Then the day he was to be escorted out of the country, he tried to slit his wrist with like a Bic razor.
I know, it's like
In
a
a
little
bathtub.
cut. And he's like, shit.
Yeah, in a
It just
bathtub.
hurts. Like,
And he, in his diary, he says he wished to kill himself in a way that would shock.
Okay.
he shocked himself by how feeble he was at trying to kill
So
himself.
because he did that, his departure was delayed. And the Soviets then placed him under psychiatric observation
I see.
until the 28th of October. So it's another week.
He's like, yeah, I gotta extend my passport now, bitches.
Win.
Got him.
Yeah.
Vague answers.
According to Oswald, he met 4 Soviet officials in Minsk who asked if he wanted to return to the U.S. Oswald replied by insisting that he wanted to live in the Soviet Union as a Soviet national. When pressed for ID papers, he provided his Marine Corps discharge papers.
Interesting.
I know, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
I know. So I told you we were going deep into like this is the
deep
play-by-play of Oswald
Well,
and his like
and also, most people don't know this shit.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Halloween night, October 31st, Oswald appeared at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and declared his desire to renounce U.S. citizenship.
And he was dressed as a Kalashnikov. He was dressed as an AK-47 for Halloween.
So he said, and I quote, he said, "I have made up my mind. I'm through." He told the U.S. interviewing officer that he had been a radar operator in the Marine Corps and that he had voluntarily stated to unnamed Soviet officials that as a Soviet citizen, which he never got, he would make known to them such information concerning the Marine Corps and his specialties that he possessed.
And how do we know this again? Because of the diary, or
This is based on the
Oh, this is from the embassy. The U.S.
This is from the embassy.
This is the
It's
US
on record.
This is U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, it's on
was
record.
interviewing.
I think it's a Richard Snyder, U.S. Embassy interviewing
Yeah.
person. Yeah. And he said he had been a radar operator in the Marine Corps, and then he voluntarily stated to Soviet officials that as a Soviet citizen, he would make known to them such information concerning the Marine Corps and his specialty that he possessed.
Gotcha.
He said he intimidated that he might know something special of interest. Like he kept saying, I know the shit. I know all the
got the
things.
inside scoop.
This
Yeah.
guy didn't know fucking
And
dick.
he was
Like,
trying
he was
to-
all using it.
He was
like,
trying to get citizenship.
Yeah, of course. Well,
So he
of
was
course,
saying,
I got the juice.
I
By
got the
being a
juice.
traitor.
I got the tea.
yeah.
I got the tea. I got the
got the
tea,
hella
baby.
tea,
The tea's
yeah.
hot.
That's right. So such statements led to Oswald's hardship and honorable military discharge from being changed to undesirable. It's like he was determined as undesirable.
Well, yeah. I
From
mean,
there.
obviously.
Because he's like a traitor.
Well, yeah. I'm surprised the guy at the embassy didn't just like fucking
Yeah.
shoot him in the head right there.
Then Oswald received a government-subsidized apartment in a really nice apartment building.
See, it's really easy when the state owns everything.
That's right.
Like-
No, actually.
like they literally
you
like,
know,
here,
yeah.
it's ours.
Now, here's the argument, right? So some people, conspiracy theorists say, okay, so now he was given an apartment by the Russian government.
And they don't fucking care about anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
So
So they're taking care
So-
of him.
Yeah, so there's there is that like.
Don't get me
why
wrong.
Why was that happen? But at the same time,
I agree.
Yeah, but at the same time, all it is a government subsidized apartment for factory workers.
And like in hindsight,
So did other factory workers get the same apartment?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm gonna say but maybe the apartment sucked.
Yeah.
A shit apartment.
It was like
We don't really
Section 8
know.
apartment.
Exactly. It's like fucking. There's like rats.
We don't really
and
know.
shit.
Also, because if like we're in a democratic system, so we don't know, or at least I don't know. Like maybe they do that a lot,
Maybe they do.
where they go,
I
okay,
fucking-
this factory needs to be supported. We're the government,
You
and
mean
we
here or over there? What are you talking
over there.
Yeah.
like maybe they do
like
because
here's the apartment building
it's
for
communism.
Factory A.
It's
Yeah.
communism, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they have to inject assistance into.
Well, in order to make you slaves,
'cause
they're
you're-
going to keep you alive.
And
Yeah.
working at a factory, you don't make that much money. So then they're like, okay, let's keep them happy with an apartment. You know?
We'll give you fucking 1 ruble an hour, and we'll give you an apartment though.
So this apartment was fully furnished. In addition to that, they supplemented his factory pay. So at the time, it was said that he had a comfortable standard of living.
In Russia,
In
which
Russia.
is like
Yeah.
you're fucking dead here. Like that's the,
Though they were under a lot of surveillance and like
oh, I bet.
you check in, clock out, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so from mid 60 to 61, Oswald was in a relationship with somebody named Ella. They ate together in the factory cafeteria every day. They dated a couple times a week. She later described Oswald as a pleasant-looking guy with a good sense of humor. Not as rough and rude as men here were back then.
Like, yeah.
Now, she says she did not love him, but thought he was lonely and continued to date him out of pity.
So like booty
Damn,
call.
dude, savage.
Super savage.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
She was like, I was boning his supervisor, but
I would
I
hate,
felt bad for
I would
him.
hate that any of my past girlfriends dated me out of pity.
I just felt bad. He was so
if you're-
sorry and pathetic.
Yeah. So their relationship became more serious in Oswald's eyes during the summer and fall of 60. But it began to deteriorate after she left, or she learned in October that Oswald was seeing other women. So he was on the sly side.
Oh, okay. He was playing. He was using the pity card.
Yeah, he was on the sly side. So on January 2nd, 61, Oswald proposed to her.
Oh.
She declined.
Yeah. Niet.
Okay. So in January 61, which is right after that, this woman declined his proposal. In his diary, Oswald wrote, I am starting to reconsider my desire about staying. The work is drab. The money I get has nowhere to be spent. There's no nightclubs, bowling alleys, no places of recreation except the trade union dances. I have had enough.
He's like,
There's no strip clubs like there is in America. I'm going back.
I've been looking for a titty for 2 years. Can't find one.
So that's word for word in his diary, right? He says he's
This sucks.
done with Russia and done.
He's
with
like, the propaganda
other-
was so
yeah.
good, got me hooked, and then I get here and it's trash.
So shortly afterwards, Oswald, who never formally renounced his U.S. citizenship, wrote to the embassy of the U.S. in Moscow requesting the return of his American passport and proposing to return to the U.S. if any charges would be dropped against him.
And he's like, hey,
Okay.
take backs. Like, I didn't mean it.
So now we're going to fast forward a little bit. So here we are in March of 1961. Okay. Oswald meets a woman named Marina.
Are we back in the U.S.?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So Marina is who he would end up marrying. Marina is
Right.
the woman, the
Yep.
Oswald's
And kids with her
wife.
too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he met her in March of 91. She was 19 years old. She was a pharmacology student. They married within 6 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah. The Oswald's first child, June, was born on February 15th. So he met her of 62. So he met her in March, and then they were married within 6 weeks. They had a baby March the following year.
So maybe she, no.
So she was
okay.
knocked up. When
That's
they
what
got
I was thinking.
married.
I was like, when did they have the baby?
Like
So-
a year later.
February
So
62.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, 10 months. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Boom. She was fucking prego.
On May 24th, 1962, Oswald and Marina applied at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow for documents that enabled her to immigrate to the U.S. On June 1st, the U.S. Embassy gave Oswald a loan of sorts for $435.
Dude, okay. This is crazy. This guy's life is like, it's like a Naked Gun movie. It just, he's been like...
That's why we wanted to go into like all the history.
So,
He's been court-martialed twice. He went to prison. Like, what the...
Okay, so on June 1st, the U.S. Embassy gave Oswald a repatriation loan of $435. So a repatriation loan is to essentially get you back
into the States.
There you go. So Oswald, Marina, and their infant daughter left for the United States, where they received less attention from the press than Oswald expected. So Oswald expected it to be like a
coming home party,
coming home,
like a fucking parade.
That's right.
What an idiot!
And I got my full hundo.
It seems like a theme though with Oswald, right? Like where he thinks something should be like he should be given more.
Well, he also has
like
delusions of grandeur. He thought the Soviet Union was going to be like this glorious fucking mecca, and it's like a shit show.
Yeah, that's right. So the Oswald settled in Dallas, Fort Worth, where Lee's mother and brother lived. Lee began a manuscript on Soviet life. So he was starting to write about what it was like to live in the Soviet
This guy's
Union,
desperate for validation.
of which he gave up on that project. So that never came to light.
I worked in a factory,
Shitty, the
and
end.
I had like a chick. She was like pity boning me.
End.
Oswald found an unlikely friend in 51-year-old Russian George de Monraskuld. He's a well-educated petroleum geologist with like business connections internationally. He was a native of Russia. He later told the Warren Commission that Oswald had a remarkable fluency in Russian.
Oh, I thought it was poor.
Which, yeah.
Oh, but he was there for a couple of years, so maybe it got better.
Maybe it got better, but it does contradict everything that we went over.
It was remarkable.
Yeah. So in July of 1962, we're in now 62, right?
Okay.
July 62, Oswald was hired by the Leslie Wilding Company in Dallas. But he quit within 3 months.
This guy cannot complete things. Like, my God.
Yep.
He went to school 78 times.
I mean,
fucking
so many
finished.
jobs that he quit or got fired, et cetera. You know, it's just a never-ending thing. So on October 12th, he started working for the graphic arts firm Jaguars Chiles Stoval as a photo print trainee. A fellow employee there testified that Oswald's rudeness at his new job was such that fights threatened to break out, and that he once saw Oswald reading a Russian language publication. He was fired in April of 63. So he was there for
a couple months.
10 months, October to April.
Yeah.
So 8 months, something like that. So, okay, good. So now we're in April of 1963. This is the year that Kennedy was killed.
Yes.
Right? Okay, good. So now we come to the Edwin Walker assassination attempt. This is Colonel,
Right.
Yes, this is where not many people know this story, where that Oswald tried to assassinate somebody
And failed miserably.
months before.
Political
Yes,
figure,
months
right?
before. So Oswald, in a newspaper, he bought a Carcano rifle. He spent $19.95.
So it's like on the cheap,
for a second-hand rifle,
which is
out of a newspaper.
Which is probably automatically just 10 times shittier than it would be standard.
So in March of 1963, Oswald used the alias. Remember the alias A. Heidel,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
right? And he made a mail order purchase of a second-hand 6.5 millimeter caliber Carcano rifle for $19.95. In addition to that, he purchased a .38 Smith & Wesson revolver.
Much more reliable than the Carcana.
Yeah.
And that's the one that was used to
Kill
shoot-
Tippit.
Yeah, kill the cop.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
So he ordered those two items. So he ordered the the Carcano rifle, and then he ordered the Smith & Wesson
From his
38.
fucking Macy's catalog.
38. Yeah, basically.
Jesus.
All under the name A. Heidel. Yeah. Because he was trying to be sneaky. He was trying to be...
You sure that like
You
the
know-
lady in the column, like, what's the fucking A stand for?
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Sir?
And
So-
then if you remember, that was also the name on his ID, right?
That's
when,
right.
When they found him
That's right.
in the...
That's right.
But was it like A.
Movie
dot
theaters.
Heidel? Or was it like Albert? Or like what the fuck did it say?
I think it was Alex.
Okay.
Alex Heidel.
Yeah.
Alexander.
I think so. I could be wrong on that one. But so for weeks, Oswald carefully plotted out how he was going to kill Walker. Oswald staked out the narrow alleyway behind Walker's house and found a perfect vantage point behind a 5-foot picket fence.
Yeah, because he's obviously short AF.
Yeah.
They'll never see me.
5 feet was his maximum. He planned how, after the deed was done, he would ditch the rifle at some nearby railroad tracks, double back through a park, and take the bus home. So on April 10th of 1963, which is April to November, so what, 6 months?
Yeah. Ish.
6 months before Kennedy was killed, Lee Harvey crouched behind a fence in the neighborhood, aimed his rifle at the window of they call him an ultra-conservative named Edwin Walker, and he was a former U.S. Army general.
Now,
Okay.
should we point out, and we're probably going to get into it later, but there was a picket fence about that height at
The grassy knoll?
At the grassy knoll.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nice call, Jorge.
I don't know what that means,
Right.
but it's confusing.
I think it
But
means
you should know about
I think
that right now.
I think it
We're gonna
means
get into it.
clones were involved.
Hitler was there.
Hitler killed JFK.
Hitler was there, yeah, for sure. So on April 10th, 1963, Lee Harvey crouched behind the fence in the neighborhood, aimed his rifle at the window, and around 9 o'clock, Oswald was positioned behind the fence outside of Walker's house. He was super excited because he couldn't believe his good fortune. Walker was seated at his desk doing his taxes. He was literally doing his taxes. His head was perfectly framed by the upstairs window just 120 feet from Oswald's rifle.
Which is not a far shot.
It's not a far shot.
120 feet, that's 40 yards. It's
That's
like
right.
easy peasy.
So
I
this
could do
story,
that.
this story might actually be like against Oswald's ability to shoot
That's what
Kennedy.
I'm saying. Like
You know,
at a stationary target,
Yeah.
not fucking far.
At night. He's sitting there doing his taxes.
I know.
And then back then it was clickety clack, clack,
I know.
clack, clack,
He's got his
clack,
green- he's got his
clack,
green
you know,
visor on.
yes. Why do they have those visors, by the
No,
way?
I say it's actually I looked this up because I
Yeah,
had the
do
same
you?
question. It's somehow the green would help to alleviate the eyes.
Calculator?
From looking at the fine print for so long. The
Kinda
green
like
would help.
nowadays we got the blue block.
Yeah, it would help. It would
light,
somehow
blue
help
light
glasses.
shit.
counteract that effect.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was like, why? It makes no fucking sense.
Is it bullshit? Like
I
did
don't
it
know. I
actually
never
work?
tried.
Yeah, yeah.
I can only speculate.
That's interesting.
I have TurboTax
wanna-
in my taxes, bro.
I do wonder. I'm going to get one just for my eyes, I guess.
Like Goodwill.
Yeah.
eBay that shit.
So Walker was seated at his desk doing his income taxes. His head was perfectly framed by the upstairs, 120 feet from the rifle. Oswald pulled the trigger, and a sharp crack exploded behind Walker's head. At first, Walker thought some neighborhood rascal had thrown a firecracker at his
Some
window.
neighborhood rascal.
That's what it says.
I love it.
Some rascal.
I know. Like Dennis the Menace.
But so keep in mind that Walker, he's like a soldier. Like he should know when there's
And
like I
he was
wouldn't
a
know.
fucking general.
Yeah, like if I heard a pop, 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 I wouldn't actually know it was gunfire. Probably,
I think
I'd be
it-
like, "Oh, it's the fireworks down at the."
I think it's more common that Eric
Yeah.
be like, those damn rascals.
Yeah. But he's like a soldier, so at a certain point, he realized he's like, okay, well, something's happening.
Okay.
So he grabbed his pistol.
Was the window open that the glass didn't break? Or was the window open?
No, the glass broke. That's what he heard, right?
No, I
was
think
like
the
a crack.
No, it was behind his head.
Yeah, it was
So
behind
probably
his
the
head.
bullet fucking hitting
Yeah,
the
it was
wall.
behind his head.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he realized what was happening. He grabbed his pistol, he ran outside, at which point he noticed blood started pooling on his shirt sleeve from his glass. So he got a bit of a ricochet.
Like some like particles of the...
Yeah, there was shrapnel from the broken window.
Oh, so the window did break.
Yeah, so it was shot through the window.
Oh, so maybe his face was turning the other way and he heard the crack of the glass behind him. So I think you were right, Jorge.
Right.
Yeah. Because I was thinking he's like looking out the window. And
So-
it's just like his head's there like a fucking watermelon to shoot.
So Oswald fired, but the bullet caromed off the windowsill. So carom is like a ricochet. So it's off the windowsill, missed Walker's head by an inch. The Dallas Police Department investigation came up cold, and Oswald was already flagged by the FBI, evaded additional scrutiny.
Why was he flagged by the FBI? Did it say?
Just because he was a
He was
a traitor. He was a traitor coming back.
Yeah.
No, but see, the thing is, I don't understand is like, if they knew that he did that, he didn't get arrested for attempted murder?
Well, they didn't have enough evidence to,
But they
didn't investigate it further.
But how do we know that he was the one who, like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
fucking sharpshooter my ass. Fucking bullshit.
But they did determine that the bullet that they did find
Was
ended up being from a Mannlicher Carcana.
Okay, which no one would buy. Because it's the
And
shittiest
later
rifle
on,
in the world.
it was determined later on that was the same weapon.
Yeah,
Used.
that makes sense.
But
But it was-
that's the photo you took
Right.
of that weapon.
But
is
that
the
weapon,
Mannlicher Carcana.
wasn't it pretty common for like hunting?
I mean,
Isn't that what we talked about at the beginning?
Yeah,
Hunt-
I don't know.
rascals.
Hunt rascals. Yeah. So I mean, it's all debatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like, this is a
Yeah.
really big deal because I'm telling you guys, I could have hit General fucking what's his tits with a fucking
What was it?
slingshot.
100? What was it?
120 feet.
20 feet.
That's 40 yards, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's
You could have missed.
that's not a difficult
by
shot.
an inch. By an inch.
But
It's not
in
a
a couple
difficult
of the,
shot.
in a
You know how
couple
big
of
a
the-
head is? It's a head a hit in.
I mean,
hit-
granted, if you're a sharpshooter, you probably would not miss.
Dude, if you're a sharpshooter, you
Well, he's a
fucking
marksman.
smoke.
right.
Now Eric's backtracking here. He's a marksman, sir.
Not quite a sharpshooter.
Yeah, just below a sharpshooter.
But in a couple, I think it was a podcast or an audiobook that I listened to, they talked about the window that it went through fucked up the trajectory of the bullet. You know what I mean? Like
That could be
shot,
true, but yeah.
the shot, like he had a direct shot
No.
and then the window went,
Yeah, but like,
and then like went off an inch.
but have a deviation of an inch from a glass. You know how?
100
Well, we don't know
20
how
feet.
far away he was from the window too.
no, he was.
No, he was
no,
120
he was
feet.
120 feet.
Like what's
Oh,
the senator?
Walker?
Yeah, Walker's name. Or
Yeah,
Walker.
No, but still,
like
like
if he was
glass.
2 feet from the
Oh,
window,
I see.
or
Glass-
like 10 feet from the window.
So depending on if he was, say he was 30 feet after the window,
That's what I'm saying.
the deviation of the window.
I just don't think that. I just don't think. So what happened is he hit the window sill. So that means his
No,
shot.
he hit the window.
It literally says it carammed off the fucking windowsill. We're gonna go
true.
back to
It
this.
did say that.
Listen, we're gonna go back to this, guess. Just hold on.
It
Good.
did say that. You're right.
Yeah.
Oswald fired, but the bullet careened off the windowsill
Yeah. So a
Yeah.
ricochet
and
hit.
missed Walker's head by an inch.
Yeah. So it hit the
Right.
fucking windowsill. A windowsill could.
So he was way off.
But
So
no,
the
but,
sill is
fuck?
completely different than the window.
No, because
Yes.
it's wood. Like so,
Yeah.
wood can definitely deviate a bullet. Glass, glass is going to give you maybe a millimeter difference because it's not
That's
really
true.
hard, and the bullet's going so fast. It's like it doesn't give a shit about glass.
That's very true.
Wood though,
That's very true.
100%.
Yeah, that's very true. All right. Well, so the Dallas police investigated it, and they categorized the shooting as an assassination attempt, but their investigation turned up no suspects at the time.
I see.
So Oswald then retrieved his rifle, and he was likely super upset because he missed a shot
That was
that's so easy to do.
literally.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, like
I mean, this is all speculation, but it's all assumed that he was pissed off that he messed it up.
I could have made that shot with iron sights with
Yeah.
the fucking 9mm pistol, bro. Like, come on.
So later on, the Warren Commission, like after like a year and a half or whatever later, the Warren Commission concluded that Oswald was the one who attempted to kill U.S. Major General Edwin Walker.
Super convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And that he fired the exact same rifle, the Carcano, 100 feet away or 120 feet away as he sat on his desk. This is from the Warren Commission. The bullet struck the window frame, as we had said.
There we go.
And Walker's only injuries were bullet fragments to his forearm.
Oh, so the bullet actually disintegrated, it actually broke up when it hit the wood and just fucking...
Yeah. And the United States House Select Committee on Assassination stated that the evidence strongly suggested that Oswald carried it out. So he was never like charged and he was never like, whatever. And this is later on after the fact.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So they're like, this guy tried to assassinate or kill the president. So let's just.
That's
blame
what I'm
this
saying.
other one
It's
on
a
him.
little convenient that now they're like, well, the evidence strongly suggests.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little convenient. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. Like he could have very well done it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's just very convenient that after the fact they're like, oh, of course Oswald did. Of course.
Yeah. So just a couple other things that like support that he did do it. Just
did he write in his diary?
No, so like
Major General bitch.
Like General Walker was outspoken about anti-communism, segregation,
just like everyone else in America.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. He was temporarily held in mental institution on orders from Robert F. Kennedy.
Who was?
Walker. General Walker was actually,
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot of turmoil between the Kennedy Association or the Kennedy administration and General Walker.
But then why would Oswald want to kill him?
Because he was very anti-communist and very...
And JFK wasn't?
No, but it was just... This is just what happened.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm fucking picking everything. My bad.
Yeah. So Marina, the wife, she testified that her husband told her that he traveled by bus to General Walker's house and he shot at Walker with his rifle. She said that Oswald considered Walker to be the leader of a fascist organization.
That's okay. That makes sense why you'd want to kill him then.
Yeah. So a note was left by Oswald for Marina on the night of the attempt, telling her what to do if he did not return. And this note was found 10 days after the Kennedy assassination, not the Walker assassination.
I see.
Tracking?
And how long was it between the Walker and the Kennedy assassination? Like, what's the time frame there?
April to November.
Okay, so
the
we left her
the
a note
Walker,
and, like, she found it months later, just conveniently after.
So I just checked my side table and there's happened to be a note there.
Hey, baby, I'll be right back. Let me go take care of this dude now.
I gotta go gotta go work at the book depository.
that part is weird.
It's
Isn't
a little
that weird.
awkward. I found it
6 months later.
Yeah.
You found a note.
She was like, I was dusting off the plates, the china, and I found this note.
But so what's interesting? So let's just imagine that Kennedy has not been killed. Okay, so we're in, I don't know,
April?
May. Say May
okay.
63. Kennedy's still killing the game.
Yeah, this just hitting this slaying.
Yeah, we choose not to go to the moon because it's hard.
Exactly.
Dallas police had no suspects.
Really?
You're saying in May or what?
In May. Yeah. Before Kennedy assassination.
Right.
The assassination occurred and then Oswald became the suspect.
Because of the note.
I'm just telling you the timeline.
Yeah.
So in May, there was no suspects.
Yeah.
He was just like Walker was shot at.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, I'm bleeding.
But then
we have no idea.
But then after Kennedy got shot, then they're like, Oswald.
Then Oswald was a suspect.
That's fucking sketchy as shit.
It's weird.
That's a
Smells
little
like a conspiracy to me.
That really smells like one.
So he was a suspect, but it's weird because it does talk about like they didn't have any legitimate suspects.
But he was illegitimate.
He was a person of interest. That's what they call it.
So
like a person of interest.
So
but the problem was that the bullet was too damaged to run ballistics.
But then they ran ballistics. They were like, it came from the Carcana.
Yeah.
This is fucking
That's right.
madness.
How the fuck did they determine that after 10 months? Or
they're like, now,
6 months later.
in 6 months, our ballistics have really advanced.
Crazy, isn't it? I don't...
Especially since the bullet exploded and like
it's very
fragmented.
confusing.
It's super confusing.
Especially, yeah.
Although it is 60 years ago, 70 years ago.
Yeah, but in 6 months, the technology doesn't.
Logically, you're like, okay,
No.
6 months ago, I couldn't determine it, and now 6
I
months
can.
later,
Yeah, they're like,
even though
Yeah.
the same situation,
we
like
pieced
same
it together. We pieced
circumstances
it together.
Yeah.
Let's switch the samples. Let's switch the samples. Switch the samples.
You fooled me
Goddamn,
once,
switch the
you can't fool
samples.
me twice.
And a Fuma can't get food again.
Yeah.
So there was this guy named George de Montranchlet,
Welcome to New Orleans, baby.
and he testified that he knew that Oswald actually disliked Walker. In regards to this Montranchlet, fucking
Montranchlet.
Montranchlet, and his wife Jean recalled an incident that occurred the weekend following the Walker assassination attempt. They testified that on April 14th, just before Easter, they were visiting the Oswalds at their new apartment, and they brought a toy Easter bunny to give to the child. As Oswald's wife Marina was showing Jean around the apartment, they discovered Oswald's rifle standing upright, leaning against the wall inside a closet. Jean told George that Oswald had a rifle, and George joked to Oswald, "Were you the one who took a pot shot at General Walker?" When asked about Oswald's reaction to this question, George told the Warren Commission that Oswald smiled. And when Montranchlet's wife Jean asked about Oswald's reaction, she said, "I didn't notice anything. We started laughing our heads off. Big joke, big George's joke."
Okay, real quick. I'm
So
sorry.
Jean testified that was the last time she ever saw or heard
Dude,
from
everything
Oswald.
about this is insane. Like, they randomly found it in a closet. Bitch, why you snooping through my
Yes.
closets? First off, why you in my
Yes.
closet? Like, they're in the bedroom closet. What do we have here?
Did
A
you-
rifle
Was
standing
it you
up.
that shot that shot? No, you shot that shot.
I always shoot my shot. Big George.
Shoot you a shot.
Big George.
Shot it.
Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so in April, Oswald returned to New Orleans. Marina's friend, Ruth Payne, drove her by car from Dallas to join Oswald in New Orleans the following month. On May 10th, Oswald was hired by the Riley Coffee Company as a machinery greaser.
It's the shit job, dude.
But he was fired in July because his work was not satisfactory and because he started loitering in the garage that was next door.
This guy, dude.
This guy can't hold a job for the life.
This guy is like a professional grifter.
Honestly,
Like,
have we learned? We still have a couple things more to go over, but have we learned that he's just a fucking loser?
Well, the
That's
thing
for sure.
is, he's inept.
Like he's a loser.
He's inept at literally everything. Yet he's literally one of the best snipers on the planet. like what the fuck?
Okay, so in May 26th, so now we're getting closer to May 26, 63.
Okay,
Right?
Yeah, we're getting real close.
We're getting close. Oswald wrote to New York City headquarters of the Pro-Fidel Castro Fair Play for Cuba Committee.
Damn, that's the longest name
Right?
ever. What's the acronym for that?
FPCCC. It's the thing, yeah.
And the fact that you snap answered that was great.
So he proposed, and he says, I quote, "a small office at my own expense for the purpose of forming a FPCCC branch here in New Orleans." 3 days later, the FPCCC responded to Oswald, stating, "at least not at the very beginning." So Oswald replied, saying, "against your advice, I have decided to take an office from the very beginning." So he wrote to this committee on the anti-Castro.
So pretty
whatever.
much they want him to establish it, then get an office. But
There you
he's
go.
like,
Then
no,
he's
I'm going
like,
to get
I'm gonna
an office, then I'll establish it. Yeah.
Good. So at this point, this is where JFK the movie comes in.
Oh yeah, because remember, I remember he had the office. Yeah,
He shared an office with an ex-CIA person.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they were
And
like,
that's-
they were cahoots.
If you have not seen that movie, like
it's a good movie. You should definitely
just
see
You
it.
should see it.
pause this shit right now and go watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
Well,
should
actually,
see it.
fully listen to this, then you'll see it.
Yeah. And then
leave a review.
subscribe.
Yeah, and then
and
just
start
fuck
paying us.
Fuck Oliver Stone.
Pay us the money.
And I will
Yeah.
dictate the movie to you, audiobook style.
that was a really good movie.
It was a
Like,
good movie.
It was
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was good.
And it has every famous actor who's ever lived in this in this movie.
So now Oswald has written to this anti-Castro committee, and he says, "I'm going to open
It's
my
not
own
anti-
office." No, so what happened is he went against their wishes, and he decided to open his own office, the Pro Fidel Castro Fair Play for
yeah.
Cuba Committee. Right. And so he opened his office. On May 29th, Oswald ordered the following items from a local printer. And this is what's the crazy part about this is everybody knows like every movement of everything.
I know,
So they
like-
literally know from a local printer, he went and ordered 500 application forms, 300 membership cards, because he was anticipating that he was going to sign up all these motherfuckers. He was going to just sign up a bunch of pro Fidel Castro people, right? And then he's 1,000 leaflets that he printed.
The thing is, like,
cetera.
I can't even find like my like Five Guys purchase on my fucking credit card statement. I'm like, where is? I swear to God, like,
But we know this.
we know exactly
Yeah.
this.
The headline was "Hands Off Cuba." That was the leaflet. Hands off Cuba.
Strong.
Right? And then, according to Marina, Lee told her to sign the name A. Heidel on all of the purchases. Yeah. So back to that. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so on August 9th, now we're in August of
63.
63.
So like
Yeah.
2 months before.
Yeah. Oswald turned up in downtown New Orleans handing out these leaflets. Oswald and 2 others were then arrested for disturbing the peace because they got into a fight.
Yes.
Yeah. Prior to leaving the police station, Oswald requested to speak with an FBI agent. Oswald told the agent that he was a member of the New Orleans branch of the FPCCC, which he claimed had 35 members, and the leader was A. Heidel. But in reality,
They had no members.
him.
And he was-
Oswald had no members, and it was just him. So he was like, fake it till you make it.
Oh, dude, this guy is the definition of.
Fake it till you make it.
He's trying to fake every job. That's why he keeps getting
right.
fucking fired from every job he's ever done because he has no idea what he's
That's
doing.
Okay, good. So now Oswald stayed in New Orleans 2 more days or so. He was waiting for his unemployment checks.
This guy's such a piece of
Loser.
shit.
Right?
Dude. Oh my God.
And it's kind of unknown when he left, but around September, he left on a bus to go to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So he arrived in Mexico City on September 27th, 63, where he applied for a transit visa in Mexico City to go to the Cuban consulate. So he wanted to go
Okay.
from New Orleans to Mexico City to then go to Cuba,
Yeah.
right? Which is
Yeah.
Fidel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he arrived in Mexico City. He applied. He claimed he wanted to visit Cuba on his way back to the Soviet Union.
But see, this is why I'm getting confused because he's like, he tries to write a memoir because he thinks fucking Soviet Union Russia sucks so bad, and now he's trying to go to Cuba thinking it's going to be better.
I know.
Oh, he did finish it, so maybe he changed
He's
his
like,
mind.
look, they got mojitos. It's going to be way better than this.
Exactly.
So he claimed he wanted to visit Cuba on his way back to the Soviet Union. The Cuban consular officials insisted Oswald would need Soviet approval before he would get that. But CIA documents note that Oswald spoke like horrible Russian.
Oh, so
Like he was bad.
So he's got
Russian.
his homie, like, so it's like he's poor. Then his homie's like, it's spectacular. And then now they're like, he literally knows no words in Russian.
And so after about 5 days of shuttling between consulates and including a heated argument with an official at the Cuban consulate, he pleaded to the KGB agents and at least some CIA scrutiny. Oswald was told by a Cuban consular that he was disinclined to approve his visa, saying a person like Oswald, in place of aiding the Cuban Revolution, was doing it harm. So later on October 18th, 1963, the Cuban embassy approved the visa. But by this time, Oswald was back in the U.S. and given up his plans on visiting Cuba and the Soviet Union. So 11 days before the assassination of Kennedy, Oswald wrote to the Soviet embassy in D.C. saying, "Had I been able to reach the Soviet embassy in Havana as planned, the embassy there would have had time to complete our business." So while the Warren Commission concluded that Oswald had visited Mexico City and the Cuban and Soviet consulates, questions regarding whether someone posing as Oswald had appeared at the embassies were serious enough to be investigated by the House Select Committee on Assassinations. So basically it said there was some evidence that showed that some person who claimed to be Oswald, who was not Oswald,
Okay.
was in Mexico City claiming to be him.
It was the real A. Heidel.
Yeah, and this is that story that you were talking about, which is the duplicative,
The double.
Yeah.
The Oswald doubled.
Yeah.
Saying that, I'm here to defect.
We're going to get
He's
into
like,
that in the next episode.
Yeah, casting call, all 5'8", 135-pound males. Please.
So, but according to a CIA document that was released in 2017,
Wow.
recently,
trillion years later.
2017, it said it is possible Oswald was trying to get the necessary documents from the embassies in Mexico to make a quick escape to the Soviet Union after the assassination.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like they say that he was trying to plan to depart.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to need the $400 loan again.
Yeah. 423.
I'm going to need I'm going to need that for the bus and then the ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take me back.
So on October 2nd, 1963, Oswald left Mexico City via bus. He arrived in Dallas. Ruth Payne said that her neighbor told her on October 14th about a job that was opening at a place called the Texas School Book Depository.
So is this like sheer like fucking dumb luck that he gets this job?
Well, so Payne's neighbor's brother,
Oh my God.
Wesley, worked at the depository.
Payne's neighbor's brother's cousin's sister's husband.
So Mrs. Payne informed Oswald, who was interviewed at the depository and was hired there on October 16th.
My birthday, by the way.
Mrs. Payne informed Oswald, who was interviewed there, and he was hired on October 16th for $1.25 an hour.
What the fuck? I mean, this is a long time ago, so it makes sense. But like, what? I just want to say, what do they do when they look at his resume? Like, you've had quite a few jobs, sir.
You've had 17 jobs.
I know, and you've only
You
worked.
don't need a resume for a book depository.
I mean, the maximum length is
$1.25?
$10.
Yeah, for $1.25.
They're like,
how
can you?
qualified are
They're
you?
like, can you breathe?
Like, yeah.
Okay, good.
That's still cheap. Like that's
It's
still
dirt-
$1.25.
dirt
It's minimum wage
Yeah.
at that time. It was
Yeah.
minimum wage. So Oswald's supervisor was Roy Truly. Now,
Yeah,
if you remember from
I
the
do
episode,
remember.
a couple episodes ago, Truly was the guy running around going, I know that guy. He's not here. You
Yeah,
know,
where's
yeah,
Oswald?
Yes, exactly. He said that Oswald did a good day's work the first day.
At the book deposit. What's a good
And
day's work?
and so far, he was an above average employee. During the week, Oswald stayed in Dallas in a rooming house under the name O.H. Lee.
This guy with his fucking
Weird.
aliases. He's like, God.
But he spent his weekends with Marina at the Payne home, who got him the job in Irving, Texas.
Okay.
Okay. So he would go to work at the depository during the week. He would go home in Irving with Marina.
That's like 40 minutes away.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good knowledge.
I know. Well, Jorge's from
right out
Texas.
the
Well,
you
gate.
know.
Yeah.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Right out of the
Like,
gate.
I've been all around there. Arlington and
He's
Dallas.
been to Cowboys games too,
Let's go,
unfortunately.
Romo.
Go boys.
They suck. Anyways,
So
continue.
Oswald did not drive a car. He commuted to and from Dallas on Mondays and Fridays with his coworker Wesley.
Oh, and he stayed there?
And so he stayed during the week, and then he stayed at a rooming house under the name O.H. Lee.
Yeah, that's
Right?
like a really rough sketch for minimum wage. Jesus Christ.
So on October 20th, he had another kid.
Fuck.
Oh, wow.
4 days after he got hired at this
October
job?
20th is 30 days before the assassination.
Yeah.
right?
Jesus.
Okay, good. So the Dallas branch of the FBI then became interested in Oswald. After its agent learned that the CIA had determined that Oswald had been in contact with the Soviet embassy in Mexico, making Oswald a possible espionage case because he had defected, he had gone back, he had gone this, he had gone that, etc.
God, this guy's like triple. It's like not like 007. He's like 000. Like
Yeah.
he's just the worst possible agent imaginable.
So
Like-
actual FBI agents twice visited the Payne home, which
Yeah.
is the Payne home is the friends
the friends of
that
him
said
and Marina.
that got him the job, right? And they visited in early November. Oswald was not there, but they spoke to Mrs. Payne. Oswald visited the Dallas FBI office about 2 to 3 weeks before the assassination, asking to speak to an agent. When he was told that the agent was unavailable, Oswald left a note. According to the receptionist, it said, quote, Let this be a warning. I will blow up the FBI and Dallas Police Department if you don't stop bothering my wife.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Lee
didn't know about
Harvey,
that.
and he signed it Lee Harvey Oswald.
This guy sounds fucking out of control.
The note allegedly contained a threat, but accounts vary to whether Oswald threatened to blow up the FBI or merely report this to a higher authority. So that information is like disputed, like whether or not he said, "I'm going to blow up the FBI."
Let me speak to your supervisor.
Yes.
That
I know, he
basically,
was probably-
that
could have been-
basically means I'm going to blow you
He was
up.
going full Karen, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's a threat."
That's right. So according to the agent, the note said, if you have anything you want to learn about me, come talk to me directly. If you don't, cease bothering my wife. I will take the appropriate action and report this to the proper authorities. So the agent said that.
Okay, so that's probably what it said.
So it might not have been a bomb threat.
It was probably just like a threat, like a stern,
Stop.
Listen,
Stop coming to my
sirs.
house. Yeah.
leave us alone.
Yeah. That's right. So the agent destroyed the notes
Why?
on orders from his superior, which was his name was Gordon, after Oswald was named the suspect in the Kennedy assassination.
But then why would they
After.
been ordered to destroy the notes?
Now hear me out. Hear me out. Now, regardless of whether or not Oswald killed Kennedy,
it's a little
Okay.
sketch that they had him destroy the
but
notes.
wouldn't you maybe go, hey, the guy who killed Kennedy was here like a week ago, and
Well,
I didn't do anything.
Well, no, see, they didn't want to get.
So
they didn't want to.
there
Like,
you
they were
go,
like,
there
they were
you
like,
go, there you go.
He was fucking never here, bro.
That's right. So destroy all this shit.
Super sketch.
Right? So destroy it because
Yeah, they'll be. I guess.
I don't want to be implicated
Yeah,
in
when,
this.
when the Warren Commission's like, so we were checking the records here, and we just know. So you didn't respond? He asked us to supervisor.
Exactly, right? And they were scrutinized, and they were really like, because
True.
the main suspect for the assassination of Kennedy was at their office 2 weeks earlier.
That's not a good look.
It's not a good look,
Yeah.
right? Okay, good. So now here we are, Thursday, November 21st, 1963. This is the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Oswald asked Frazier, which is his boss, for an unusual midweek lift or drive to Irving. Right? So he said, "Hey, can you drive me there? Because I don't have a car. I can't drive."
To get the strap,
Right?
To get the
So
fucking.
he said he had to pick up curtain rods.
Oh, because curtain rods are long, just like a rifle.
So the next morning, which is the day of the assassination, he returned to Dallas with Frazier. He left $170 and a wedding ring, and his wedding ring.
$170. It's like 3 months' pay. What
I
the
know.
fuck?
So he left it with Marina,
Here's the cash, baby. Take my
and he left his wedding ring.
Yeah, right. He was going to the titty. It's like, babe, they can't know I'm married.
So he left. I got the $100.
Got the curtain rods.
I got the curtain rods.
got the curtain rods. You know what I'm saying?
So he left the $170 and his wedding ring, but he took a large paper bag with him. Frazier reported that Oswald told him the bag contained curtain rods.
In
He
a
took
fucking
this huge bag.
Oh, I was thinking like a lunch bag. I was like, what the
No,
fuck?
sir, he
is
took
it?
to work. He took this huge bag and he said, and it was covered in paper.
Oh yeah.
And he said, Frazier, hey, don't worry, this is
It's
curtain
curtain
rods
rods,
that
man.
we picked up yesterday.
Remember the curtain
Hey,
rods?
see, look
remember
over
the-
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Why
to
is
work.
it
Okay,
shaped like a gun? Because the curtain rods.
And as of note, the Warren Commission concludes that the package of curtain rods was the rifle.
Sure.
Yeah, because why would you take curtain rods to work? Like,
Yeah, like,
obviously that
You're
doesn't
taking
make any
curtain rods
sense.
away from your house
Yeah.
to the book depository. The lights is fucking me up. I can't deal with it. I need the curtain rods. Like,
Okay, good. So now we're here. Now we're at the point of the Texas School Book Depository, the day of the
reckoning.
assassination. Okay. So one of Oswald's coworkers, Charles Givens, he testified to the commission. He saw Oswald on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository at 11:55 a.m.
And what time was the shooting?
35 minutes later.
Okay.
So there's a witness 35 minutes before,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
and that's Charles Givens. In an FBI report taken the day of the assassination, Given said that the encounter took place at 11:30 a.m. and that he saw Oswald reading a newspaper in the first floor room at 11:50 a.m. William Shelley, which is a foreman at the depository, testified that he saw Oswald near the telephone on the first floor between 11:45 and 11:50 a.m.
Okay, so he was up reading it. He was upstairs, then he was downstairs, and then he goes back upstairs like 6 minutes later.
So then the janitor, Eddie Piper, dope name.
Yeah.
Eddie Piper also testified he spoke to Oswald on the first floor at noon.
So when the shooting happened, like 12:05?
12:20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How you doing, Oswald? Having a good day? Yeah. He's like, look at these. I just cleaned the shitter out. It's all yours, brother.
So another coworker, Bonnie Ray Williams, was eating lunch on the 6th floor of the depository and was there until at least 12:10 p.m. He said that during that time he didn't see Oswald or anyone else on the 6th floor, and he thought that he was the only person up there on the 6th floor. He also said that some boxes in the southeast corner may have prevented him from seeing deep into the sniper's nest. Caroline Arnold, the secretary to the VP of the Texas School Book Depository, informed the FBI that as she left the building to watch the motorcade, she caught a glimpse of a man whom she believed to be Oswald standing in the first floor hallway of the building just prior to the assassination.
So he was in the first floor hallway
Yeah.
before going up 6 flights of stairs.
So this is all the info of the witnesses that were there at the Texas.
So pretty much 7
So like 10 minutes before.
So like 7 people saw him on the first floor, and then like one dude was like, he was on the 6th floor.
Right.
35 minutes prior.
So there we go. That's the information leading up of Oswald leading up to the shots.
Yes.
Right? And here we are. And now we know a synopsis.
this
We
guy
know a
is.
synopsis of Lee Harvey Oswald
Yeah,
in his life.
the man,
and,
the myth,
you
the
know, that
fucking
sort of thing.
loser. God, this guy was this a shitbag.
So there's so many things, and I hope it gave an explanation a little bit of Oswald and like what, I don't want to say his motives because we still don't know his motives and we still don't know necessarily what he was trying to do but it seems like he was grasping onto trying to make a change and trying to
Make a name for
force,
himself, too.
and
Oh,
trying to
fully.
force himself into history, I guess.
And I think it's good in order to come to your own conclusion. You think you need all the variables that you can have, and like knowing the backstory of this guy, it gives you a better picture of maybe like the mindset. Like, but obviously
Yeah, because it's like what you're saying.
I'm
like
not going to get into it.
a lot of people don't even know a bunch of the incidents that we went over, like the prior assassination attempt that allegedly is linked to him.
We all agree.
Or
that,
even like the whole Russia thing, like and how he was what was it called? Like he left,
a defector.
US. Yeah.
Like
And then they like let him back in and give him like money to come back in. Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of town. So obviously, you know, in the upcoming episode, this will be
that's right.
where we kind of get into all the nitty gritty, and obviously we'll voice more opinions. But definitely, we want to get you guys' feedback. We'd love to hear what you guys think, what your questions are, if we can provide any more insight or just our views, or we want to know what you think. Maybe we'll maybe give a little plug on the next episode. Like, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So next episode, we are going to go over every theory that exists. Now that we know the entire backstory, we have a full grasp, or at least I would say a partial grasp of Oswald and of the story of JFK assassination, etc. We can now go into the conspiracy theories and kind of take a look at all the weird ones, the good ones, and come to a conclusion. I do have a conclusion for you guys that is mine.
I might have a different one.
Yeah,
So I guarantee I have a different.
Absolutely. But anyways, that's what we got for you guys tonight. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, catch you next time.
Make sure to follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Leave a review,
everywhere.
for Christ's sake. Leave a review.
Even if you hate us, leave a review. I don't care. I just want you to give us your feedback. Damn it!
Our best suggestion is to leave a review that's 5-star, even if you hate us. So if you just do 5 stars, but then hate us in the review. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @aconspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.